Evening. Welcome to the Town of Ayer Finance Committee meeting of Thursday, October 16th at 6 p.m. in the Ayer Town Hall. This is a hybrid meeting. This meeting of the Finance Committee will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation via Zoom is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in a specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may access the proceedings by joining Zoom meeting 978-772-8220 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Carly Antonellis, Assistant Town Manager at atm@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 100, prior to the meeting. Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. The first item on our agenda is review and approval of, we actually have two sets of meeting minutes, but we only have October 2nd for this evening to review.
That is correct.
Okay, so we're going to review and approve the meeting minutes for October 2nd. Has everyone had a chance to look? Do we have any additions, corrections, changes?
I didn't read them.
The only recommendation I have is that, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs down. When the third line says restrained, should be restraint, I believe.
Most likely.
It's mine.
That fiscal restraint is being stressed.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That's all I got. Sorry, Eric.
Hey, I leave something in there just to make sure everyone's paying attention. Yeah.
No, I didn't see anything other than, thank you, Robert, for that. So any more questions? Should we go ahead and, I will move that we approve the meeting minutes for October 2nd, 2025.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so approved. Okay, all right. Next item is a rate review committee update. Robert and I attended the meeting on Tuesday.
Yep.
And I just saw your text.
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, did you
The
figure?
dog had eaten my homework, but I found it.
Oh, okay.
Needless to say, the rate review committee met on Tuesday, October 14th. Reviewed a number of scenarios in relationship to the transfer station rates. After discussion, it was decided to recommend to the select board a $5 increase on the initial permit fee, 0 increase for the senior permit fee, and for all second permit fees, a $10 increase. The net positive revenue would be about $2,382 to be exact. The board recommended, or the committee recommended it unanimously to go before the select board for public hearing.
So that was the transfer station, right?
The transfer station rates, yep.
And
For 2020, fiscal year 2027.
Yeah, that's why I've been putting that on the bottom of our agendas, the fiscal. That's 'cause everybody gets confused. And then I think, and then the rate review in what January is gonna start tackling
Yeah, the water sewer.
the water, sewer, and stormwater. Okay. All right, next item is town meeting, October 27th, Monday. So, just wanted to touch base again on that. I think we last left it as we were sure, we had one of the select, board members wanted to make sure we were all there. I wasn't sure if they wanted us all on stage or not. And then we discussed, and by the way, I have, from what I understand, we don't all have to be on stage. So, so then I guess the question was, who was gonna be on stage? And we were leaving that as, I think the last me, Andrew and Eric. And, so that will be it. And then Andrew, you came up with a summary here that you sent around. Did everybody get a copy of that?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I printed out copies too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for doing that, Andrew.
I was fixing my math there, pointing out.
So, this is, if we are asked, the audience says, FinCom, why did you not recommend?
You know, I had an idea on that.
Oh, okay.
Can we just hand these out? Or some sort of thing out? To make it easier for people? Or is that complicated?
That would be a sort of a report, and actually that came up at the select board meeting. I forget which one. And Janice was of the opinion that we weren't going to do a report. So.
Is there a reason why it was decided not to do a report?
Because we've never done a report. And so that was my thinking. We just have never done a report.
I mean, I wasn't going to give a PowerPoint. I was just going to print a sheet out.
Mm-hmm.
Hand it out? I don't know.
Well, what are the rules for just having stuff available on the tables when people check in?
So, Robert, you can, if you give us a minute. So I guess the question, so then this is, I'm glad we brought up, this is becoming a report, and then the question will be, I mean, is it a report, or is it just a summary of our discussions and things like that and stuff? So,
This is just essentially I pulled the data off their PowerPoint
mhm.
and summarized it, right? I don't know. You can take the text block out,
Mhm.
and then it's not a report, it's a summary of data.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if we want to do it or not. I'm agnostic, it's just hard to convey.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Robert.
So I'm not sure what I haven't seen the handout. So if it's just all of, if I could just through the chair, so what the,
Can you just grab the top part?
so, I mean, I just want to verify, I'm just checking.
Yeah, the math on the tax impact was wrong.
Yeah, so,
Also, something got not shot down, but one of the grants didn't come through.
So through the chair, the plan, so the first thing is if you want to put anything on a table or have a handout at town meeting, it has to be approved by the moderator. So that's just a standard procedure to answer his question. And you would want to at least clearly put, who it's from type of thing, if it's from the FinCom. So the moderator would have to approve it. The second thing is this information for the worth is going to be in the presentation. And so what I mean by that is the plan is, as I understand it, is the article will be moved and seconded. There'll be a presentation that'll have two parts in it. The building committee, Katie the first part of the presentation will be project specific. Then the second part of the presentation will be the town's funding plan and the tax impact by Barbara and I. In addition, and I'll send this to the FinCom, we're just working on it now. In addition to the residential impact, we've had a request to show the average commercial industrial impacts. There's been some inquiries like on the business, so we've showed the impact for 550, the impact, so we're not, for example, under the tax impact scenario, we're not borrowing 15.1 million. Then the maximum would be 11.55. And that's why I put the warrant article up. Since the FinCom last met, the article asks town meeting to do two things as approved by the select board. The total appropriation is $13,550,000. Of course, this is correct here that the total project is 15.1. Of that, the borrow is up to 11,550,000. The target is still to only borrow the 10 million, but the CDBG grant that we can apply to, which I see you have on here until the spring at 1.3, based on the situation we're in, that grant, we would be very competitive and plan to apply for, but the state of the federal government right now has us concerned that will the grant program exist or not. So the feeling was that the 1.5 million is a contingency if we weren't to get that grant. I'll get to the other grant in a second. So then the second part of the article asks town meeting to authorize the transfer of 2 million from stabilization towards the project. So I think if the FinCom wants to do a handout, we'd be happy to just verify all of the numbers, and if it just indicates it's from the FinCom and you want to do that, just the moderator, he approves all of and that's standard. It's not, he approves all the handouts. I also, in addition to, as Mr. Seckman just brought up, and we just found this out, under the funding plan where it says housing choice grant of $500,000, the town did not receive that grant. We have reached out to the housing choice grant program. We're waiting to hear back to try to understand and find out why we weren't awarded that. The intent of the $500,000 specifically for this grant was for the water line. This just happened. I think you're the first public body that's met since we got the news. So I just wanted to bring everybody up to date. So again, the plan is still not to borrow more than the 10 million. However, the 11,550,000 as the maximum is the contingency on the CDBG grant for the spring, not this one. And we've been asked, which we'll get to the FinCom, on the tax impact to also show the average impact to the average business.
All right, follow-up question.
Mhm.
I assume it's only 13.55 because you put the 2 million capital stabilization in the same warrant, right? Because before it was the full 15.
Right, so what they ended up doing since we last met, and these things always change, correct, so the 2 million that hasn't changed. The 13.5 is the total what we're asking town meeting. The project is still 15 million.
Yeah.
But we originally were advised and learned that we had to put the total amount for the maximum borrow.
Mhm.
So the fact that we didn't have to do that is we were at the 10 million. But in the discussion, the select board decided to put the 1.5 million because of the CDBG grant. So if this passes,
I think that's good because
Yeah.
the town, I mean,
Yeah.
I think the townspeople should know
Yeah.
what they're potentially,
yes,
not what we're hopefully borrowing.
Yeah, but the
but
thing is that we're also combining everything in this one article. It's
Right.
not like we have one article say that would you approve 2 million transfer from capital stabilization fund to this project, and then another one article for approving the borrowing. We're actually combining them.
I mean, it'd be a mess, right? If you
Yeah.
didn't approve the cap stabilization, but approved the
For the
borrowing.
borrowing, yeah.
Which
right,
you could do, right?
yeah,
yeah.
I was surprised that they are combined.
Yeah.
So just wanted to bring that, so the new pieces since the FinCom met, the first piece is the article, the maximum borrow would be 11.5. The goal is still the 10. The 2 million is the same. We did not receive the $500,000 housing choice grant. Which, I mean, that's public knowledge. You just happen to be the first committee to meet since we just got that news. And so more to come on that. And then as far as the presentation, as far as the town's funding plan and the tax impact, it's very similar to the presentation that's almost going to be identical to what was done with FinCom and Capital with two added caveats. One is we'll obviously update the numbers, and we will show, because we've been getting inquiries as to the commercial industrial impact. And Barbara's putting that together. We should have it tomorrow.
You send that to us?
Yeah, I plan to send the whole thing.
I have a small gripe with and not against you, but just as you're the one speaking, we hope to keep it under 10 million.
Mhm.
The goal is under 10 million. That's all well and good, but it doesn't mean anything. It's the same as saying, well, we would hope to keep it under 5 million, but it doesn't mean anything. What actually means something is the town is authorizing X amount, because also in the financial thing, like you have like the fundraising, the Friends of the Senior, whatever the title is, the Friends, were originally going to raise like 350K, and then they reduced it, or it was more than that, and they reduced it to 350K. They don't even have near that much raised. So the likelihood that they're actually going to hit their fundraising goal, I'm going to put it 0. I'm sorry, just being
I
being
agree.
honest,
I agree.
which means that missing amount is going to end up having to be borrowed. So as even just a small thing, I think it's misleading to the residents to say we're going to keep this under 10 million. That's a lovely goal, but I don't think it means anything.
Yeah, so just through the chair, and I appreciate the discussion, fair point, and I guarantee you, based on my experience, I'll hear from at least 15 people from the floor on that question. So to be clear, and we'll say this in the presentation, if this article passes and it passes the ballot, you are correct, the town will have authorized, we will have been authorized to borrow up to the 11.5 million. Exactly, the goal, and I know the goal is, and when I say that, people, and sometimes, many times we have a good track record of meeting that, sometimes less than that, but sometimes, especially with that grant, that would be the maximum, and I'm glad you brought that up, we will be clear on that. And I just want to, on the explanatory note too, because it'll tie into this, just the updated numbers. It's the largest explanatory note, by the way, I think, in the history of town meeting warrants. But just the current estimated annual cost impact for that, we show the 10 million, which is 143, which was when we were before you. And if we were to borrow the maximum amount, then it's the 165. But what you're saying is a very common question that we hear. I don't take it personal, I think, and want to be very clear. You're right, that if this passes and passes the ballot, we could borrow up to the 11.5.
And given
Yeah, the thing
that
is
I was gonna say, given that the 500,000 is already, should
Yeah,
we
It
even be
seemed to me that
saying
it's
the goal is
even
10
11.5 is not enough. I felt like if your total cost is 15, 11.5, you have 3.5 million difference, and you only right now. Okay. So I saw that the reason I was asking about whether the transfer of the 2 million from capital stabilization fund would be a separate article was I saw that there was question before whether that should be approved or not. So now it seems like it's a given that that would be approved.
That's how it's written.
Yeah, that's how it's written, but through the chair, Jin, to your question, these are all good questions. Town meeting, as you know, can approve, it can not approve, and it can reduce the amount. But it can't add to it. So, it was decided to put it all as into one article. I anticipate that in the discussion and the debate, it may end up being on both pieces.
Okay, I'm going to interject here. I've got an idea. Looking at this, I really didn't have a chance to look at this until today. Give me a second. I'm juggling three balls here. What if we want to do this as a handout? We all agree. Let's do that. I have one suggestion. And what I'm thinking is, one, so we want to double check that we can do this as a handout. Two, if you are willing, maybe we should meet again next week to update this, to get this updated, because we're getting changes as we speak. And just make sure we meet quickly next week and say,
Well, we should decide if we want to do it as a handout first, right?
well, yeah, so yeah, that's why I'm doing this, juggling the three balls.
That's right, 3 balls.
Right, so,
Vote whether we want.
well, yeah, so we're gonna look at, do we wanna do the handout, and well, it has to be approved. And then, would you have a feeling one way or the other, Robert, on that, or if we can do a handout?
So, I mean, yeah, that'd be through the
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
looking at this, I think what we could do, if you could send this to me electronically, what I'm just getting at, Barbara and I can just make sure, not questioning it, but some things have moved, you have all of the numbers.
Second opinions.
Yeah,
are always important.
Right, and I would just ask, obviously on this, you'd want to sort of put who it's from, at the top, like Ayer Finance Committee, handout. And to your point, Mr. Chair, you probably, should take a vote on it. But yeah, the moderator, that's just the procedure for everything, including anything they have. And it doesn't have any advocacy component to it, meaning, it doesn't say like vote yes or vote no. I'm not saying that it would, so that won't be an issue. And then I think pretty much all of this too will be in the presentation. And the other thing we can do is, in addition to the handout, we can project it, up on the screen at the appropriate time too.
I just took it off the slide deck. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if it's worth it. I'm not sure it actually solves the problem if someone says, what's the FinCom's position?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, that's,
It's more of like a
So
cheat
we're at
sheet.
least up there. It says 211
Yeah.
to not recommend.
Yes, I'm not sure we need to hand it out, but
I think you should.
But
I think you should be prepared to speak.
yeah, I think that's
well, yeah, that was my original idea, was that if we're asked,
I can assure you, all of this will be in the presentation footage.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
No, and
But still, I think a handout is a good idea because it sort of like stand out a little bit more, because in the presentation it might be buried in a lot of other materials, and also, people could present things with a slight different emphasis. And so versus here, if you write clearly and only facts and all.
well, that's what we've sort of got some unknowns here, and this is where I'm leaning towards. If we're willing to get together, and I'm looking at the town's calendar, maybe next Wednesday or Thursday for a very quick meeting, where we could, we'll have an idea whether we can do this as a handout or a short presentation. Because maybe that would be a second thing. Then we could also in that meeting make sure the numbers are updated, and we can say, okay, yeah, this looks good, and then we'll have our ducks in a row for them for the next Monday. What's
So-
your feelings?
My feelings?
Well, no, everyone's feelings.
So, in my opinion, thanks for doing this, Andrew, by the way. I think it articulates what the financial and fiscal impact is, but it doesn't necessarily represent the context of the senior center and what benefits it brings to the table. So I'm just wondering if handing something like this out separates the two. In my opinion, it does. So when you articulate the numbers, you're not necessarily articulating to the group or the town meeting, here are the benefits of it. So by segregating those, is that somewhat partial, I guess is what I'm driving at.
So what I'm hearing is that you think this is an impartial way of presenting stuff.
It is a
Oh,
partial.
It is a
It is
partial.
Oh.
yeah. It is. The thing is that I feel that we could be justified doing this because we being the FinCom, we're only looking at this project from the financial perspective, because there will be plenty of advocacy for the benefits. And the thing is, I felt like I'm never against any of the benefits, and I truly agree that we need a new senior center. It's just I think everybody, is not the sticky point is not whether we should have it or not. It's,
No, I
it's
agree.
always
But when I look at
funding
this, I
part.
say, do I want to vote for an additional $143 a year in household added taxes? No. Do I want? If I
But the
look
thing
at
is,
it,
that
if I
is-
look at it represent it this way, it's simply a number.
Yeah, but the
as
thing is,
opposed-
that is something that people have to, take into account. I actually think that 143 is a very conservative number. It's most likely will be more than that. So
I think it's what 160.
Right.
Irregardless of that, I'm just, my opinion is that by presenting it in this manner,
it is showing that we are not, we have reservation for that. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
I think to your point earlier, Robert,
Mhm.
that if we decide to do something, or want to decide to do something, we should get together again and vote to see if we all feel it is the appropriate thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, can we do that tonight?
Yeah, I was wondering.
Well,
Under the guise that these numbers will be updated and corrected.
oh, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna throw out for Roberts, you were planning to scoot up to the high school, correct?
Yeah, I'm good, yeah.
Okay, all right, so do you want, yeah, I mean, do you want to, we'll continue our discussion as far as whether, again, it's also going to hinge on what the moderator might say. But
We
you,
need to know that first.
Well, I
right,
think that according, if I understand Robert correctly, moderator will always approve a handout. I mean, would he actually be against the
We do that
content?
stuff all the time.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
just through the chair, the only time the, I don't want to speak for the moderator, just as Eric had asked earlier, just what the procedure is. So everything that's out on those tables and anything that's, passed out at town meeting, it just has to be approved by the moderator.
But it's not like a given, the moderator will always approve.
I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but in this case, as long as it doesn't have any advocacy, what I'm saying, it doesn't say, like if it said vote no, or the FinCom says vote yes or vote no, he would probably say you got to redesign it. This, as it stands, is just informational. And I think that, of course, you want to just indicate on the top that it's from the FinCom.
Sure,
And
yeah.
let's just update the numbers and just verify the numbers, not, I know where you got it from, and
found it
you guys
already.
found it. Right, yeah.
But the moderator is not going to
Right.
inject his own
No,
perspective.
never. So how it works, like with other groups, so if the FinCom goes this route and votes, to send this, the chair would send it just to the moderator, say that the FinCom would like to have this on the tape, for people to take. And he will write back to the chair, most likely, again, don't want to speak from, thank you for letting me know, approved.
Okay.
okay, so,
Yeah, do we want to just take a vote now?
okay, so the,
I have a proposal.
okay, thank you.
Uh,
As I drop
Maybe not a
one,
motion,
I
but
drop one of the
but a
ball.
proposal.
Yeah,
Do we, if I can go back, I'll pull out the previous estimate and the size reduction because they'll cover that. I'll just say size, millions. I'll take off the housing trust grant because we didn't get it. I'll fix the if grants denied and then add the line of I'll have to update because it's only going to be 13.5 million and change that and fix the percentages. And then I'll scrub out in the paragraph, I'll take out the if the pending grants are denied, additional borrowing will raise the tax 27 more per household annually. And just say the FinCom recognizes the community needs to express caution over funding uncertainty, reserve depletion, blah blah blah. The community voted against, or just take it out entirely.
No, I thought, the only suggestion I had was you had citing financial risk. I was thinking the word, instead of risk, say citing financial cost,
Sure.
because I just thought risk, I mean, a town,
It's loaded. I agree.
That was a good one, Kurt.
We could. I would argue that if we wanted to sanitize it even more, maybe to Bob's point, say the finance committee recognizes the community needs, but express caution in funding over uncertainty, reserve depletion, long-term tax impacts. The committee voted 1-1 against recommending the project as presented, and then you just don't have to say citing financial costs rather than ops. Just say as presented, and then just end it there.
And Andrew, could we just, it's small detail, but just put it as 2 to 1 to 1, so it matches the article?
I have that.
Yeah, I know it's minor, but just,
no, I mean, I actually liked the list. Because, I mean, why did you not recommend it? Well, mainly because
cost rather than
it's cost, it's cost. Is it too big? It's cost.
I would also maintain that if the project was free, I'm all for it.
Right, and then,
Even if it wasn't free.
Yeah, if it's
And-
$5
but you also-
million,
but then
$5
you-
million, I will-
and then you balance that with rather than opposition to the concept itself.
I will change, I will change risk to cost, and then change the 2 to 1 to 1, but I still will take out the 27 more borrowing thing, because that shows up in this table. And then I'll fix the math, and then I'll send it over to Robert
yeah.
to verify.
Okay. And Mr. Chair, I would just suggest at the top, for example, it says Town of Ayer Senior Center Project, financial summary, maybe change that to October 2025 from Ayer Finance Committee.
This is probably impossible and I'm sure far too late in the game. But is there a way to do all this and finance it like we do the CPC, where it's a surcharge, and then make it so that certain groups, demographics of the town could not get a deduction on that surcharge, that they would have to pay the full boat of the senior center that demographic may have been very much in favor of?
Okay, that's
think
interesting thought.
I think that ship has sailed, Eric.
I don't know, I just...
But in the interest of keep moving along. No, because actually my ears perked up. I've had other thoughts too, but okay. So,
So I'll make a motion, so we have an official vote.
okay.
It's that.
Why don't you propose a motion, I think, and
Yeah,
then,
so I'll make a motion. Well, I guess I'll make a motion to approve requesting a document on the table as amended.
okay, so
So in my mind, that's we would like to do this. I will update that document in the next day or so, send it to them for review, and then I would assume you as the chair would approach the moderator and ask. If that's
Yep.
Which can still get denied.
right, so then,
This is just if we want to do it.
okay, so, and again, we're sort of discussing a proposed motion at this point. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Do we want to,
Do you vote for it or
Oh,
I get the issue first?
I think would be preparing this to be shared at town meeting. And then,
It's just a vote whether or not we want to put it on the table or not.
Yeah, I think that's it.
okay, all right. What I was just gonna say is what I'm thinking of, if for any reason he doesn't want to put it on the table, are we able to ask to have it by the way, we
Just
will,
let it go.
Yeah.
just let it go?
Yeah, we're not
Okay.
gonna push that hard.
Okay, all right. Keep it simple, okay.
Sure.
He proposed a vote,
Well,
so
isn't-
are you gonna vote yes or not? Let's just take down the which.
Okay.
Oh, someone's got to
Make a
second, I
formal
think, a
vote.
motion first, right?
Yes.
If you can make a
Sorry,
formal
Bob.
motion.
Sorry.
You have a comment first?
My only,
Yep.
first of all, we're amending it for presentation to the moderator to accept it as a handout, right? Isn't that ultimately what we're doing?
Well, so if we were going to meet again quickly, I will have a revised copy, which we can then approve of as a committee, I would assume. Right?
Yeah.
Because I can send it along via email, but we're not allowed to talk about it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's a perfect email thing, but we
Right,
can't
yeah,
do it
right.
over email. So that would be my suggestion.
Oh, I felt like I'm willing to just trust that you're going to be able to make all
Well, he
the
also has to vet it with Barbara.
Yeah, and then Robert can review that. I kind of like I'm hoping that we could skip the next week's meeting. And we just vote now to say that we will, like to have this, and then contingent to the moderator approval and contingent to you make all the proper, amendments and approved by Robert, and then.
I would just hesitate to say, yes, we approve showing something when we don't know exactly what we're yes, it's going to be mostly this, but we're approving something that's going to change. And I think that leaves the door open for someone to be like, oh, that's not what I thought, or it's not to the point of the words in the back. Like, I didn't like how that came out. I wouldn't necessarily have voted.
All right. Then we'll meet again next week, right?
We can also
Yep.
meet via Zoom for 10 minutes if it's.
Yeah.
This is true. Yes,
Yeah.
we could do a quick Zoom.
Yeah.
Does it have to be a public hearing? That's the next one.
It does have to be, but maybe I
Yeah,
can,
so then the Zoom had to happen here, so it's probably not very different than meeting in person.
well, as long as I will be here.
I will be here. It's fine. If I have to call on Zoom, I'll just Zoom in.
Yeah,
It's
and
not-
I'll get, okay,
I
so,
think Eric's right. So I will make a motion that we would like to put a document on a table to be amended for the moderator and then to be approved by the town manager and the finance manager for correctness
I will second the
Pending.
motion.
next meeting, final approval.
Well, wait.
I have to write this down.
Eric, write everything down.
You know what I mean?
Give the time to write.
Make it sound better in the minutes.
FinCom's gonna meet next week to approve the amended
Yeah.
or proposed
Do
presentation.
we want to put something on the table, yes or no?
yeah.
That is in generally this format.
Okay.
How about that?
May I? Yeah. I make a motion that the finance committee would like to put together a handout for the town meeting. The details will be worked out and we will approve them at our next meeting. Contingent also that the town moderator approves it.
Second.
All right. And
That's what you said.
whatever. We just, yeah.
Give Eric a moment to
I-
catch up.
Yeah.
You've got a motion, a second. Let us know.
I've got Kurt made and Andrew seconded.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Very good. Okay.
I want to take your point seriously.
Yeah.
We want to make sure you get the
Sure,
wording
appreciate
right and
that.
all that stuff. And
Okay, we have another item on the agenda, discussion of FY27 budget calendar. You have a copy of that, so you can take a look at it. It's been approved, and then this is, what we'll be working on next year.
that's the one Carlos sent.
Yes. Yes.
I looked at that.
Okay. So that's just informational. And so, is there any public input? See none here, any online?
Nobody online, Mr. Chair.
Okay. And then schedule next meeting. I will work on getting a meeting next Wednesday or Thursday and let you folks know as soon as possible.
Sure.
And that, again, that will be here, but will be by Zoom and hopefully short-lived also. Okay, anything else?
Yep. No,
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh. That's exactly
All right.
what we did last time.
All right, Robert, we will.
All right.
Oh, you
We have
gotta
to
get
announce that it's adjourned at
6:47.